Does he know which button to push? Hello, I want to point out things that Ken the Stout does. He owes it all to Doug Betts, including being confused and not knowing what he is doing.
From across the pond, Darren.
YouTube is still not hearing me because I hit the wrong button.
I'm not asleep.
I know Zoom could hear me. I hit the wrong button. And Greg's got YouTube on. I know Zoom can hear me. And Greg's got YouTube on. I just losing an hour and threw you guys all off, didn't it? Greg's got YouTube on. I just losing an hour and threw you guys all off, didn't it? Come on, Greg, get with the program. YouTube.
Just normal homies stuff.
Yeah,
Not
really.
asleep. At least according to Tony.
I did not get home in time to set anything up. That's why I just ran through a couple of things relatively quickly. I moved the stream back due to golfing didn't end until about 8:30, and I told Mrs. K I'd take her to dinner, which we did. We went to Texas Roadhouse. That's where she wanted to go. So wanted to get a quick shower before I came on here tonight because I was sweating like you would not believe. I mean, it was only 92 degrees today when we started playing golf. I'm not real sure why we did. Tony was first, Darren was second, William was third, Robert was fourth, Greg was fifth, and he thinks YouTube screwed up again. Yeah, I'm sure YouTube is still screwed up. Rick Lake said hello early. I'm saying all this right now before I bring chat over because I'm going to lose half of it. Long Dog says it's already approaching 7 o'clock. Yeah, it was an intentional late start. I really wanted to get home in time to start it at 9:30, but I knew walking out off the course at 8:30 that was not going to happen. Now, have they changed how chat works now? I don't see the option to pop chat out.
I've got a pop-out chat option, so the host surely ought to have one.
I do, but now according to, now this is weird, according to the studio, it is still showing the alien. According to my monitoring screen, it is showing what it should be, which is the clocks, the Zoom, the QR, and the two pictures. Let me refresh that and see if that solves that problem. The stream's current bit weight 2667.58 is lower than the recommended bit weight. I have not changed anything, but I'm getting a message. So now everything's up to speed here. Wow, it actually did not cut out the thing. I don't think I can show this to you, but The three dots are right over the notification bell. And every time I try to, okay, now this is, I can't change the chat on my monitoring screen. I'm going to refresh it. See if that helps. Nope, that did not help. I'm still stuck on top chat. Oh well. Good to see everybody. Hope everybody had a relatively cool day. As I know, across most of the United States, it was hot today. And it's going to be hotter tomorrow. Jeff, has your rain stopped?
Yes, it was all clear this morning.
That's
A
good to
few
hear.
clouds this afternoon, but I don't think we're going to get any more water. And it got up maybe to around 90. So,
That's still relatively cool for Vegas this time of year, is it not?
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we can be over 100 up into September, of course, depending.
I asked my niece, I don't know exactly what she meant, but she said it was all a big joke. I don't know if she realizes that Southern California got hit and not her area or what.
Where's your niece live?
Like between Bakersfield and Fresno, it's Visalia,
Huh.
but I don't think that area got
He
hit.
must have caught some of it, you would think.
You
Well,
you
it
would
would
think, yeah.
rain a little bit, probably rained a little bit, but she said it was just a joke. I mean that they might have predicted for it to hit them, because she said people were buying a lot of stuff. I don't know what exactly they don't have cable, so she probably hadn't seen the news.
She got
They
the
don't-
internet?
Yeah, they got internet. That's all they do is stream though. And she probably don't have time to sit down and look, because she's got my niece, my great niece, I mean. So
Okay.
it's
Hello, Alex.
Hello, Mr. An hour late.
I'm not an hour late. Read the schedule. It's scheduled for 10 o'clock. You're 6 minutes late. I do believe that's punishable by waiting room.
No, you being not at 8, you being not at 9 o'clock is punishable by waiting room.
Nah, I don't think so. We can take a vote on that and see how that's going to go. I was actually
Ian?
shooting for 8.
Or Alex.
What
me.
is your background?
What does it say? Do you not speak Tagalog? You should speak Tagalog.
It
Your
looks
brother's
like- it looks
staying in
like-
Philip.
It looks like 2 zeros.
It's it is
Or
2.
two
It's
O's.
not 2 O's. That's Tagalog. Haven't I taught you anything? Wait till I get into the bigger words. I don't know what's going on with my monitoring. I can pop chat out now, but there's just something weird going on with it. I'll just keep with what I got and hope it looks all right. So I do have a premiere for tomorrow. I've got to finish it up. I did pretty much record it this afternoon, and then I'll finish it up and get it ready for tomorrow.
You can let Greg finish it.
I asked him about it. He declined. He said something about his DaVinci wasn't working right or something. I don't know. What's going on? I'll change it to that one, Alex. How's that one look? Is that okay? Is that better? Does this pass the Alex Cheek standards for backgrounds?
That's better.
Alex, in the chat room is a special background for you.
Okay.
If you put it in there prior to him coming in, he won't be able to see it.
I can see it.
Really, in the chat? Oh, in chat on YouTube or chat on Zoom?
Zoom.
It's to Alex, though.
Oh, okay, privately.
Okay.
All right. Rick asked, has anyone heard from Brian? I believe Sam said he heard from him yesterday. I believe that's what he said. I have not heard from him. I shot him an email this morning, and I haven't checked anything since. I mean, I really haven't had time to do anything. Barely got home in time to get her, go eat, and get back in time for the show. I wasn't going to postpone it anymore.
Why did I turn that fan off up there?
Couldn't answer that question for you.
My mind's just not working right.
Well, I'm old. What's your excuse?
I don't know.
Pretty much had to play today. Tomorrow it's going to be about 5 degrees hotter than it was today. And Wednesday she works. Thursday she works. And we're going out of town Friday. And that kind of put the put a meaning it had to be today. Plus he's got a football game to go to tomorrow night. I might squeeze in a game tomorrow night. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. I do know I was drenched in sweat today. And I took 6 bottles of water in my Yeti. Oh, shoot, my Yeti's still out in the car. For hydration. And I went through 5 bottles of water in about half the Yeti. And I was absolutely drenched in sweat. I wore a yellow shirt because I Googled wear lighter colors to make the heat not be so bad. It didn't work. The heat was still pretty bad. So
over the past few weeks, Max has been jumping up on our back door, and he's able to. It hadn't been. We found out it hadn't been closing good. We would lock it. My mother said lock it, and he was still getting out. She said he is unlocking the door. I said no, he can't do that. But we found out if you push on the door hard, it would open.
Okay.
So even with a lock, so we got that fixed. My uncle fixed it. He done something, drilled a screw in it to line it up better. And he also got us another deadbolt because our deadbolt broke about a year ago. So
we have a new...
now he can't get out.
We have a new person joining us in chat, Jeff Fryman. What? Jeff Fryman, everybody.
What?
Long Dog said Jeff Fryman today.
Oh, okay.
I think he might be touch typing. I don't know.
I think he uses voice to text too sometimes.
Possibly.
That's how he gets so much wordage in.
Yes, Long Dog made it through the storm okay.
Yep.
Seems like he said he had a little erosion along the curb in one place or something. And may have a leak around the door with all the water coming.
Well, we never heard anything. Go ahead.
Now it's just mud everywhere. I mean, it's not water. It's a lot of places, most places, it's just mud.
Yeah, I think the storm probably dissipated enough and turned more easterly that got away from a lot of the population. At least I know that her mom and her mom and sisters in San Diego, they're fine. That's good news.
It kind of went east of San Diego a little bit, and then it kind of took a turn, took a sharp left turn, went to Los Angeles, and then took it back north.
Yeah, somebody shared last night the helicopter over Dodger Stadium, and from that angle, it looked like they had a lot of water. But I honestly don't think that was a lot of water.
You want to see some damage? Google Hurricane Hillary in Death Valley. Washed out some roads.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
I will do that later.
Yeah. Whenever they have heavy rains out there, a lot of times they have them early in the year. And then the wildflowers are great, but the roads are so damaged you can't get in.
Yeah,
to see them.
Can't go look at them.
Yeah, but they don't have a year's worth of rain in one day, though.
Yeah, that's what's hard for me to wrap my head around is that they got a year's worth of rain in what, a 24-hour period?
Yeah.
Didn't that already happen? Didn't that already happen one time this year?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what the annual rainfall in Death Valley is. Here it's around 3 inches in Vegas. And even after the rain, I think we're just about up to normal now. I'll have to Google that later.
Long Dog says he's puzzled about the water at Dodger Stadium. Looks unbelievable. Yeah, I don't know. I think might have been the angle of the helicopter, and I don't honestly think it was as deep as what they were portraying it to be, but I don't know. I'm not out there, so I have no idea.
There used to be a guy I watched on YouTube. I can't remember what his YouTube channel was, but he had a helicopter, like a small helicopter. He would fly around LA. He'd fly over the beaches. It was his personal helicopter. He just done it. And I don't know, I can't remember what his channel was. I wonder if he went out after a hurricane.
I have no idea. I know I wouldn't be going out during the hurricane.
Oh
That
no,
was-
it was a small helicopter. It would have probably made him crash.
Good wind
They
gust
probably
comes
wouldn't let him
along.
take off.
Yeah.
Well, here's this thing from Death Valley. The National Weather Service rain gauge at Furnace Creek, which is one of the places you can go in Death Valley. It's one of the little towns there.
Right.
Recorded 2.2 inches of rain, the park's average annual rainfall.
And how much did Death Valley get? This.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's in Death Valley. Furnace Creek is in Death Valley. It's a
Right,
town.
right.
So they got 2.2 inches in a day. That's
And their
the
annual
average
rainfall is what?
2.2 inches.
Oh, okay, okay. Wow.
And people were
Is-
letting,
That's the single rainiest day there, beating the record of 1.7 inches set in August 2022, a year ago. It says higher amounts of rain fell in the mountains.
Which has to cause flooding somewhere.
Oh yeah, it
I mean,
ground's hard. It just all runs down.
yeah. That's the thing I
People were
noticed today on the golf courses. There were tee boxes that was as hard as concrete, and there were tee boxes that was soft as mud, and that absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. I'm gonna mute
people were
my
letting their kids
camera a
play in the
moment.
water.
We're still 6 months down the road.
Do what, Chris?
People were letting their kids like boogie board in the water that was flowing down the street and play in it. And I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't let my kids out there in it.
A lot of times when I was growing up and we had a flood, I mean, a lot of us who lived in this little town, the floods came, then you had to go and get shots because there was always contamination.
No.
A rural area where you had septic systems and all kinds of stuff. And so you got pretty bad contamination until everything got washed away. And I can remember having to go and get shots of different kinds when I was a kid after a flood.
Yeah, this was Palm Springs.
The trace on the grass is
Hmm.
bias has him using a credit card.
I wouldn't do that.
Well, I'll be back momentarily. Gotta go grab something to drink.
Y'all been
My
saying
water's-
Palm Springs. Y'all been saying Palm Springs, and I've been thinking of we have a dog grooming place here in town. It's called Paw Springs, PAW.
A little play on words there. Pause. Okay. I see you're playing the background William made.
Yeah.
There's a story behind that background. After a call to Epson.
Oh, you called Epson?
Yep.
Okay.
For what? A printer, a projector.
Tried to get some ink replaced, and as a run around, it went nowhere.
But he called him direct to this hotel. But this was the Vogue's leaving messages for him in Montana.
But if you listen to one of the whole trailers they give you, Shaq Conneal saying he will yelling out for Henry or Alex to come answer, help man the phones. It fell in just too perfect.
I don't have any job updates to report today.
Did you get the application you were working on last night submitted?
I got that done last night.
Good.
You
good.
find more today?
I did.
That's good too.
But I would not treat anybody if you got a job on tech support like that background says.
Fine, we can meet you down at the precinct. Mr. DeGrasse was looking for.
I am trying to get things caught up here, trying to multitask, and we're not doing such a good job of it.
Insiders looking online.
We're going to be busy all day tomorrow. I will try to be back in time to participate in my premiere, possibly see Doug. I do know Doug said he did not go up to the cabin this weekend or the lake because of the storms.
You'll be back promptly at 8 o'clock tomorrow night.
I'll be back way before 8 o'clock tomorrow night.
Why didn't he go to the cabin?
I believe he said due to the severe stormy weather, he didn't go. I think that's what I heard him say on his stream today.
I wonder what the roads are like to the cabin.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine? Slip sliding, muddy.
Well, up there it was worse in the mountains than it was, I think, in the Central Valley and all.
Well, we haven't heard any news of anyone that we know getting hit very hard and having anything, perilous or whatever happen. So that's good. Tim just posted to Facebook, so he's all right. Long Dog says some of the mountainous roads, when you have floods, get a lot of debris. Yeah, sticks and stones. Limbs and mud. I can imagine.
It showed one man stuck. He was in a Chevy truck. It said Z00m. He kept going forward and back. He must not have had no forward drive. Because if it was forward drive, it would have got out.
Possibly. You can bog a 4-wheel drive vehicle down too.
A Chevy.
If you don't know what you're doing, by Chevy. Yeah, I imagine you could bog a Ford or a Dodge, or you don't know how to drive it in those conditions. Like driving in the snow.
They'll go right through it.
Yeah. It's just like when you drive in snow. If you don't know what you're doing in snow, you can bog yourself down real quickly.
Oh, I slid in a ditch one time when it was my old truck. It was a Chevy. And I slid in a ditch.
Because of snow?
Because of mud.
Oh, mud. I was going to say, I don't think you probably don't get much snow down your neck of the woods, do you, Chris?
No, I don't. And the truck came up on two wheels. It came on 2 wheels. It come back down, slammed down. I thought it was going to turn. I thought it was going to turn up on its side, but.
Was this on a Friday night right after you watched the Dukes of Hazzard?
No.
The bus driver shortage in Sheridan has become chronic. For the last two nights I've seen on Facebook, people are posting that there's one certain bus 51, will be late again tomorrow in the morning and afternoon. It will be at least an hour late on both AM and PM runs.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have royalty in the house. Welcome in Brian Lightfoot. I need him to say something Brian S, so we know that it's actually him and not an AI.
An AI?
Yeah, it could be an AI. He's very talented. You'll notice he's not looking at the camera. Hi, Brian. Look, he's playing a Doug. He's talking and we can't hear him. You know that I'm going to ride that for a couple days with Doug. You know that. If I could have figured out a way to bring OBS over here, but that wasn't a problem. I just muted my microphone earlier. That was priceless, though. I was like, he's showing us what he's checking. And, if you could just almost say, well, this is checked right, so why don't I have sound? You all right, Brian?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's good to see you. It's good to hear from you.
The background behind me is that's what our backyard looks like now after the hurricane. Just
Nice backyard.
catastrophic damage all over California. Had tens and tens of dollars of damage.
Well, it's good we can joke about it now because the way it was predicted, we probably would not have thought we could be joking about it like this. Fresno didn't float away?
Haven't heard from them. Their sound bar doesn't work in Fresno this morning.
Okay.
No sound.
Joins
No
us in
sound was
chat.
getting out. Yeah.
Says hello. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Hello, Matthew. Good to see you again. Rick, there is your answer. Mr. Lightfoot has shown up. And again, unless it's an AI, and I don't know how we could trip up the AI. It is you, right? Okay, I know how we can find out. How's your back doing?
That's my problem.
That's not good.
It's like having a thorn on your back where you cannot lean back, you cannot sleep on your side. You can stand up or lay down on your side, but that doesn't really work in front of the computer, does it?
No. And I can relate with this right here. I can relate to the trouble with sleeping. And it didn't make, the first couple nights, it made no difference. Left side, right side made no, the only thing I didn't try to do is sleep on my stomach, but I don't sleep on my stomach anyway, so that wasn't an option,
actually,
so to speak.
In the last 6 days, I've learned how to sleep on my side pretty good. So when I get up in the morning, I feel great, but I have to remain standing for the next 12 hours.
Oh. Now, when do you go back to get it looked at?
On the 30th.
And you already had something done, right?
9 days from today.
So you're in
Man.
the recuperating phase, hopefully.
Yeah, it should stop. I
And,
mean, it doesn't hurt except when you put pressure on it.
It doesn't hurt except when you take a step. You know, it doesn't hurt until you sit down.
It's just in a bad spot.
And you don't have any kind of pain medication for it?
No.
Man. Well, we want you to get to feeling better. And if you have to leave, we understand. It's good to see you. Not gonna. Did you get my email?
Yeah, I looked at it just a little while ago, and I said, well, it's too late to answer.
Never too late to answer.
Said, who
But
the hell
I
is
know.
this from?
I couldn't make up my
Right.
mind which email to send it to, so I chose that one.
Okay.
So when are you going back, Ken, for the stitches? You said Thursday.
I don't know. She looked at them today, and she was going to try to
Oh.
cut them out, but she couldn't get the clippers to open up wide enough to do it, so
Oh, Lorna.
she chickened out. Yeah. So I might run down to the VA tomorrow because she goes, well, just go to the what's them little clinics called?
Okay.
Urgent care.
Yeah, urgent care. Thank you. And I said, no.
Veterinarial clinics?
Aerial clinic?
Veterinarial.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you
Might
can
be.
you can go to the dog clinic. They'll do it for you.
For free? That's I could go to the urgent care, and they'll do it, but they're going to charge me. I'll go down to the VA tomorrow. And I mean, she's in a hurry to get them taken out, not me.
Urgent
So,
care shouldn't charge you.
well, I'm sure they
Charge you for
would.
that.
Well, if you go to the
Yeah.
vet, you wag your tail and bark
They
nicely,
do.
they
You
might
can-
do it for you.
You can go to a civilian hospital and have the VA still cover it.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Well, then
Just
I'll get them
changed
taken
that
out
fairly
somewhere
recently.
tomorrow.
Are there some restrictions on that? Like if a VA place was available and you just didn't go there, or
Yeah.
I
Something
don't know.
like that.
I'm eligible for
Wow.
some stuff, but I've never used the VA since I have other insurance that's pretty good.
Long
If
Dog
you're
says we
40
have
miles
echoing
out.
of some kind. Okay, that's not good.
If you're a long way from the VA hospital,
Or after hours, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, after hours is the main thing I was thinking of.
Yeah. But some of the VA doctors are pretty good. When I had this thymoma removed in 2012, I was on a recovery ward almost, well, I guess it was maybe 4 or 5 days altogether when you count, when I was in the ICU.
I got a question.
And one of the doctors that came was an active duty Army guy from the fort in Augusta, Georgia,
Benny?
who worked at the VA on the weekends. It's where the signal school is. I don't remember the name now. It's in
I gotta
Augusta.
think about that now. I don't think the only one that comes to mind in Georgia is Benny, but I know there's got to be at least one more.
No, this is up near at Augusta, and I should know it, but I'm having my senior
Fort
moment.
Gordon. Fort Gordon.
Fort Gordon. Yeah.
Here.
I think maybe Fort Gordon.
It must be Fort
Fort
Gordon.
Benning is in Columbus.
All those that think it's Fort Gordon, raise your right, left hand.
Okay.
Okay, well, it actually services.
Greg got it. Good job, Greg. All right, Alex, what is your question?
On all the job applications that I apply for, whether I get them or not, obviously, they all have these same questions that they ask. And one of the questions that they ask is, are you a protected veteran? So my question is, what is the difference? What is the difference, or is there a difference between a veteran and a protected veteran?
Yes.
Well, yes. Go ahead, Sam.
Difference. A protected veteran is somebody with a disability, a disabled veteran. That means they cannot garnish your wages from your veteran's disability pension. They cannot discriminate against you in any way. You have to have paperwork, though, to prove that. It's called Title 31, I believe.
Well, that's just one of them. That's just one of them form questions that every job asks. So
I have not seen that one, but I've seen the one where they ask if you are a veteran. Of course, anybody who was honorably discharged gets a certain amount of brownie points just for being a veteran when you go to apply for some jobs.
Yeah.
But okay, I didn't know about the term protected veteran. I had not heard that before, strangely enough.
Yeah. Also, debt collectors cannot, bother. They're not supposed to bother you either. They can't take your money you get from the disability pension, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they've added something to Fort Gordon here. It's always been it's been the home of the Signal Corps for a long time, but it's also the home of the Army Cyber Command now, cybersecurity stuff. And they have Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines assigned there. I guess relating to the cybersecurity stuff.
I heard today that the voice of Mario is retiring or something.
Heard that too.
The voice of Mario that has been apparently voicing him for the past so many years is no longer. So if they make a new movie or make a new video game with Mario, it'll be somebody else.
I don't think they are going to make another.
Or it'd be computer IA generated.
Sorry about that. I had to cough a couple times.
I think Ken can do it.
What, Mario? No.
Really talk much.
I don't think so. But you saying that for some reason made me think. I read an article about Jane Curtin today in Saturday Night Live. It's a pretty interesting read. and in fact, she's in her 70s. I have trouble with that, though.
Oh, I have more information on what a protected veteran is. There's four categories: a disabled veteran, a recently separated veteran, an active duty wartime or campaign badge veteran, an armed forces service medal veteran.
That one's the only one that's got me perplexed, because have you looked that up yet?
What's that?
The Armed Forces Service Medal.
Yeah. Were you awarded the Armed Forces Service Medal?
No, but according to what I'm reading, I should have been.
Yeah. Did you serve on active duty in a U.S. military operation for which an Armed Forces Service Medal was awarded? And were you awarded it?
No, I wasn't awarded it. I would have to look in to see if I was part of a unit that was awarded it or not.
Yeah.
But if you go in, I'm looking at how do you win it, or how do you win it? How do you win this medal? It says the eligibility criteria requires a completion of initial enlistment period or 4 years service, whichever is the lesser. Well, that's basically everybody. So there's got to be another catch to it, and I realize catch is the wrong choice of words.
On an operation,
you have to be in an operation of some type, and that could be like an overseas training exercise or something like that, I would assume.
Right.
When I was in the 1st Infantry Division every year, and they went over to Germany, an operation called Reforger. But
Austin Grace joins us in chat.
To service members who on or after June the 1st, 1992 met these qualifications. So since I was too long ago to have met any of these criteria. So
it's a lot like my possibility of suing the state fair. It's not that important to me, honestly. Austin Grace says hello to everybody. Hope Monday is good. Monday was hot, but it was good. Good to see Austin again. Played golf today for some crazy reason. We'll talk about that later. It was good.
I'll be glad
Golf was
when it
good.
cools off.
Do what, Chris?
I said I'll be glad when it cools off.
Yeah, I will be too. I haven't looked at the 10-day forecast yet, but I know we're supposed to hit near, if not over 100 degrees here Wednesday and Thursday. I forget where we went. We walked in someplace, and man, I was like, I'm living here tonight. I'm not going home. I'm doing a stream from my phone.
I could have swore this time last year they were doing the electric company was doing like rolling blackouts here, or brownouts, whatever they call them, where they're shutting the power off to certain places for like a certain amount of time.
Yeah,
but they haven't done that. They haven't done that this summer.
Would that be due to the heat and people using your air conditioning, or why would they have done it last year?
I would think so. I would think that'd be one of the main reasons, because air conditioners use a lot of power, and if everybody's using their air conditioner, then
I assume there's criteria like how close they are to the limit of their load capacity.
Yeah, there's got to be things with it.
And Alex, have they been doing upgrades to their systems over this period of time?
Yeah,
depending on what their sources of power are. I mean, you've got them. There's basically 4 sources in this country. There's a little hydropower, a lot of natural gas, still some coal, and still some nuclear. And depending on the combination they have of those in any given region, say like last year, they might have had a big plant down for maintenance.
Right.
And this year it's not. So, and it can also be due to how well interconnected they are on the grid. I mean, different regions can supply each other back and forth if there's a high demand. And so a lot of factors go into that.
This will cool everybody off. I've got a snowy background of my front yard. Psychologically, you'll feel 10 degrees cooler.
No, not really.
Let me find the snowstorm. Maybe that'll help.
And my father.
I dress for winter year. I dress for winter year round. So I I try my hardest to be warmer, to stay warm.
Well, just go outside. Aren't you having some hot weather right now in your neck of the woods?
Yes, I am.
Like triple
Over
degrees?
over 100 degrees just about every day.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
goodness.
warm.
No rain for at least the next 10 days.
Alex, you don't know what warm is.
Well, I told
You know
you I
why?
dress for
You know why?
I dress for
You
inside. I
wouldn't-
dress for inside.
No, Alex, you will
The
never
people
do manual
breathe.
labor, so you don't know what being
Oh, good
hot.
point. Yeah, good point.
Well, Ken, you'll find this interesting. We're not scheduled to hit 100 again until next Sunday.
Wow.
It's pretty good for August out here. Now, this is just one prediction.
Right.
It's when I Google Paradise, Nevada weather. That's the out in Clark County area where we nominally are.
So here's a question for us. Jake and I were discussing tonight weather and how long weather records have been being kept. And he seems to think they've been being kept since the early 1800s. I have no
Earlier.
clue.
Yeah.
Ship's
Really?
logs. Ship's logs. They keep track of weather on ships.
Never thought about that. That's a very good point.
Well, and they're
That's how they
probably
kept
kept
that far.
longer in the northeast part of the country where the country's the oldest. I mean, in terms of whether you were in a state or not, you know.
Yeah, right.
The problem with that is the records are probably long gone from back then, you know. So,
Right.
the
Deteriorated and
700s. Yeah.
sure.
But the ship's logs have the thing is you only need to get one of the ship's logs for each area. So there was hundreds of ships on the oceans, so you could piece together the record through multiple ships.
Right.
Ship's log, Captain Stardate 33.74.
Just can't handle it.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got on that subject either. We were talking about Indiana weather and how hot it was today, and something
How
about,
far does
oh,
it
here
go
in 4 or
back?
5 months we could have a foot of snow on the ground. I'm like, I hope not.
Did you
Trying to
guys see me put the pillow behind my back?
Yeah.
That helps, but only for a few minutes. And then in a few minutes, you'll see me sitting like this.
Yeah.
Is it a
This detailed
sciatica?
records.
I need to know when you're going to start doing the cartwheels, though, because I want to record that.
Maybe is it sciatic? Is a pinched sciatic nerve that's bothering you, Brian? Is that what it is?
No, it's 9 stitches that are slowly
Oh.
healing.
Oh, okay. All right, no problem.
And they do take their sweet time healing.
Well, at first, I was afraid of one thing because Jeff will relate to this. When you were 20 and 30 years old, if you got a bruise on your arm, 2 and 3 days later, it'd be gone.
Yes.
When you're in your 70s, if you get a bruise on your arm, 2 and 3 weeks later, it's still there.
And he's demonstrating getting a bruise. You see him right here going, let me show you this.
So let's
Actually,
Let's
Ken, that starts around age 64.
let's cut the skin a little bit and open it up and poke around in there, and let's see how fast the skin grows back together. Just a couple of days.
Yes.
No.
Well, Brian, I still heal relatively quickly, at least compared to my late wife. She would carry a bruise for weeks.
Mrs. K gets bruised all the time. I seen one the other day. I'm like, did you get that from the fall? She goes, oh, no, I ran into something at work. And it was like
Well, I
can't.
mean, she's doing stuff where she can get whacked by accident too.
Well,
so,
yeah, that's
sure.
that too. But I guess they've got a couple of metal hooks that are really super. I mean, Lauren is very short, and she's got it right at her shoulder. And I'm thinking, that's pretty doggone low to put a hook.
She's about what? About the same height as my mom.
Well, I don't know. I
Five-
think Lauren is
5.1.
shorter than your mom, actually. I'm pretty sure she's shorter. That's about the one thing we didn't check out when we were down there visiting last year. I'll have to go back and look at some pictures. Maybe I can determine that. I've got an engineer on the staff, so he can figure this out for me. Well, you guys are tough tonight, I tell you.
Well, we've only got.
Well, I
we've
mean,
only
I
got
got
four.
the old cartoon someplace that says
Alex?
6 months ago I couldn't even spell engineer, and now I are one.
Yeah.
We've only got 4 more months to go, and then this year will be over, and then we'll be 1 year closer to Windows 10 end of support.
And I thought you were going to say we're 1 year closer to croaking. I guess it's only us old people that think of that. Well, a lot more talk about Windows 12 now. I don't think there's anything official out there, but there's sure a lot of speculation about it now.
The latest thing I heard is, but it's supposed to around 2024. It's supposed to have like the beta testing. Around a year after that, probably around 25, it's be coming out. If it's 12 or whatever it is, it's supposed to be more
Yeah.
like Apple, Microsoft,
Well,
Apple, Mac type.
Yeah,
layout.
the 10 runs out. Well, they're claiming Microsoft is going back to a 3-year release schedule for new versions. I don't so
10 runs out in October 2025, right?
Right. I mean, that's
Yes.
when it loses support. But they're saying, when did 11 come out?
Oh, I don't remember.
A while back.
It's been out almost a year and a half, almost 2 years now.
If you can't where it leaked
People are
out.
saying 3 years from when 11 came out, 12 will be out.
That'd be about 25.
If Microsoft sticks to a 3-year schedule.
And the big question, looking way into the future, what's going to come after Windows 12? Is there going to be a 13? Will they do the lucky number 13 where they'll come out with Windows Millennium? Oh, wait, they already had that.
Windows 15 probably, because of the fact 13 is a unlucky number in some cultures.
I heard.
Supposed to be lucky in Japan, isn't it?
What, 13?
Yeah, I saw that someplace the other day. Well, I know what it was. I was watching a YouTube video of the old post-flight news conference from Apollo 13.
Yeah.
And Jim Lovell said that prior to the flight, he didn't think anything about 13 being unlucky. In fact, he'd read something where it was a lucky number in Japan. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. I'm just going by YouTube video, which of course we all know are absolutely correct all the time.
Well, yeah, of course. And it's on the internet. So now I'll tell you what I heard about Windows 10, 11, 12, and moving forward. And no one's consulted me on this, so I'm just telling you what I heard. What I heard was when they get ready to do the next version after 12, they're going to go 12A and then 12B. And they're going to do that all the way through the alphabet. And by then, they'll be ready to do Windows 16. That's just what I heard. I will be right back. My warm bottle of water is empty, and I must have something cold to drink. Well, I should have left the camera run. You guys would have got a big kick out of that. I threw the water bottle in the air to catch it and smacked me right in the nose.
As long as it didn't smack you in the stitches.
Yeah, that would be what I need. Reopen them dumb thing.
I see him taking Windows to just a little client on the computer, and it's a pay base for what you want out of it in the future.
You mean like a cloud? Like you have to connect
By
to the cloud, like a
365
remote
internet.
desktop, or
Now run that past again, William. You aren't
I
talking
should
about a
take it.
complete
You
subscription
put like
model.
the little client like Zoom on your computer. You log into it and you pay monthly for the window components that you use.
I don't see them do that, but I could be full of it.
well, you never
I
know
think the
with
thing is, I mean,
Microsoft.
they essentially are going to free upgrades at this point, or have. I can see them doing everything else, like Office will be completely subscription at some point, I think. And other components, I'm not sure Windows will be, but what do I know?
That will be as if they do that. If they make it completely subscription online based, that will make it so that people that still can't get decent internet can't use Windows at all.
I figured you were going to say something about people going to Linux, but that one kind of surprises me.
I just don't see, I mean, I think a lot of their other stuff will be subscription.
Because I remember when I know this was several years ago, but I remember back when the original Xbox One came out, it had to be connected. You had to connect it to the internet to be able to download updates and set up your Microsoft account before you could even use the thing. Right out of the box, it had to be turned on and connected to the internet, similar to what they're trying to do with Windows 11. Well, I was sitting in a Best Buy parking lot one day in the car and happened to see somebody across the parking lot get out of their car and take a Xbox back in, and I had the thought, well, that Xbox is probably going back because it has to be connected to the internet for you to even be able to use it, and they didn't do their research and realize that before they bought it. But as far as actual Windows computers, I don't see how that would work, because well, maybe by that time Starlink will have all the satellites up and the whole world will be covered with internet, and it will be a whole lot cheaper.
Long Dodge says, let's call it Windows 13. Chances are it's going to have more artificial intelligence embedded into the operating system. Have to wait and see.
Are you still streaming?
I am for about 8 more minutes unless we vote to
Oh.
end it now. All those in favor of ending it
Aye.
early? I mean, I started late. Might as well end early.
Aye.
Everyone except Arkansas can vote.
Let's see what the kids in the back have to say.
Yeah, really.
End it
So
whenever
I'm
you-
going to go ahead and end the stream 7 minutes early now since I started a little
So-
late.
Sure.
What you're saying, we all can vote except the peanut gallery?
Yep. So thank you, everyone. Sorry I was late. Golfing went a little over what I thought it would. By the way, I won. Boy, did I win. Tony Wallace says aye. Good to see Tony voting. So I will see you guys. Hopefully we get home in time. I can be here for my premiere. There will be a premiere tomorrow. And I do hope to be able to attend this one. I slept through the one this morning. And then tomorrow night will be 9 o'clock. We don't have anything going on that I'm aware of. So it'll be back to normal time, Alex.
Yes.
9 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock your time. And don't send me a daggone text message going, oh, fine, today I'm ready to go. You're going to be late. Yeah, I will put you in the waiting room for that. Good night, everybody. I'm going to go play Doug now and find the right button. Maybe.